goes up and down all throughout history. And like right now we're just in a decline and everyone is in a decline, even Africa, where they're only having like plus 5 kids per person. They'd be having like 10 or 12 if they were not in if, well, it's true though. So it's like, so we're all as humans in decline. And I do think it's because I'm personally I think it's because of this diversity quota, this we like this I don't know how to word it. It's not pathological altruism. It's more sinister than that because like altruism is just helping people who need help, right? It's like not it's like being willing to sacrifice a little bit from yourself so that, yeah, I think it's like I think it's wealth redistribution would be a better answer. Actually, Ryan T, the mouse heaven experiment. Have you actually ever researched that, Gary? And do you know what he's talking about? Yeah, yeah. It's the same thing. People probably call it different things. Yeah, I think this was happening with the world. I think two things are happening. I think the wealthy classes have too much abundance, and they said they have no drive, and that drives them to be neurotic. And I think the poor classes don't have enough, and they see the upper classes having more than enough, and they also are becoming neurotic, suicidal, and resentful. So, eh, and that actually does have some credence because like old school communists called homosexuality, and this is whenever I talk. Do you know Mel the Cosmic Fox? And the transsexual. I refuse to call him a female. He respects that. He understands why. He does kind of lash out about it, but he's not a bitch about it. Like he understands why, and I always call him a dude when I come up to him. And if somebody has a problem, I just don't go on their panels. But me and him were talking, and I called him like I said because me and him were talking about communism, and I'll LARP as a communist when I'm talking to champagne socialists and like bourgeoisie leftists because like their idea of communism is false and retarded. And like I asked Mel, I was like, could you imagine being so bourgeois while claiming to be a socialist or a communist that you think that you being able to choose your gender or you being oppressed, quote unquote, for where you put your penis and who you put it in is actually indicative to the class struggle. And he kind of went retarded for a minute there. What's up, Wicked? But he kind of went retarded there. And I think it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I do think that the utopian mouse experiment. I think it showed a bunch about not necessarily just human nature, but mammalian nature and how mammals think. Because if you look at the brains of mammals, they're remarkably simpler or similar. But when you look at humans and other mammals, just different parts of our brain are more evolved or are larger or are more complex. So I don't know.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Wicked, how you doing, buddy? I don't know. I don't exactly know. Well, it literally turns into hell on earth.
They probably started engaging in same sex. Well, you know,
Well, no, that's what they did. They would rape adolescents in their species. They
makes me
or they would
sick.
they would rape adolescent mice. They would engage in homosexual relationships. They would they would murder each other. Like it literally caused hell on earth. This
they
utopian experiment.
they probably try to impose their weirdness, their their immoral habits on the other mice. You know,
I get what you're saying, but it's the animal kingdom. So
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked Orthodox if in their way they did though. You know, like maybe not how it looks for us, but in their way,
yeah, no,
I wouldn't be
I
shocked.
feel you, and you know what? I take back that laughter because you might be right. You know, you might be right. Just because you're an animal and you're more you're like your society's less sophisticated, you know you might be right. In their own animalistic way, they try to normalize it.
Yeah, and I mean, who's to say they're less sophisticated, right? I mean,
Yeah,
we
we just
know
can't communicate.
we
Right.
know well we know that for example bacteria, right? If we put a microscope on it, it's an entire nation in its own right. You know, all these
Yeah,
microorganisms. Let's I mean, let's be fair. I think it's fair to see it that way.
no, you're. This is one of the cases where you're absolutely yeah, you're 100% correct. Because have you seen? Go ahead, Gary. Oh, not only can they talk, you know, have you seen the mushroom spores that the Japanese used for all they're using it for all future expansion? Yeah. They found the most efficient routes for the expansion, and it's wild. Shorty, I don't. This is one of the conspiracy theories that I'm on the fence about, and I don't mean that as an insult when I say conspiracy theory, because if you've ever lived in a place or been to a place, you don't have to live there. You've ever spent the night. Because when me and my friends were teenagers, we'd find some old abandoned house in the woods, and we'd party. Right? Have y'all ever been to a place where there's no power going to it and it's like a human made structure and you sit there and it's just so ungodly quiet? Like you can what well it's not just and it's not and it's very different from you going in your house and cutting everything off. Even the breaker. There's a difference, right? And like I think the electromagnetism from the circuitry in your house running power. I think that affects with your brain, and to what extent we don't know. The electromagnetic field around Earth, we don't know how that affects our brain. So like I I'm not gonna sit here and say that that's impossible. The 5G zombie apocalypse. I'm not gonna say it's impossible. I'm gonna say it's highly unlikely, but we don't know. That's one of the conspiracy theories that does make me because like me and you have me and you both have a little bit of a background with electrical engineering. Have you gotten to the magnetic pulses yet? So you know that they interfere and intersect through everything. That's very topical actually. So like the 5G doesn't have or any or the way we use electricity. The 5G doesn't have or any or the way we use electricity and the forces of nature have no negative effects on us. I don't think this literal or even metaphorical zombie apocalypse is going to happen. I think it's going to be more a bio cell death, like with the plants that Garian's talking about. I think that we're cooking. I think we're cooking ourselves from the inside out with this radiation.
Hey,
What's up, bud? Is that electromagnetic fluctuations? EMF. Okay. And I'm not good at abbreviations. I'm autistic, and I have to, have to have the actual thing there. But well, you know that if you evolve with these electromagnetic frequencies, your body will develop, or a you'll see that the living organism will develop a harmonic frequency with it to negate it. I mean,
Hey,
technically, it already is.
hey, ortho. Hey,
The sun, and the ozone.
the sun, but the sun is like it's natural, right? It's not man made, right? So
Yeah, but with the radiation and ozone, technically the way it holds light radiation and heats up space, technically it already is a microwave.
yeah, but I mean, what's the alternative? No sun, no existence, right?
Yeah, no, no. If the world is gonna, if we're gonna go the way of a hamster in the microwave because of the sun, that's just gonna happen. That's just unfortunately humanity. That's just nature. Nature is cruel. The world is cruel. We're gone. There's a sleeper cell. There's a sleeper cell in the facts that can be activated with a certain frequency, causing a zombie apocalypse. That's a conspiracy. I think like most conspiracies, bud, that comes that like the most extreme come from a very basic misunderstanding of how the technologies work. We gotta. You also gotta understand that the solar flares are not just the electromagnetic frequencies. It's also physical plasma coming off of the sun that damages stuff as well. And we don't have that physical shielding. We can have electromagnetic shielding, but we don't have that shielding from the physical plasma that gets spurted on everything. And plasma, for those of you who don't know, plasma be hot as hell. Yeah, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles probably that little stuff, that gunk that evolved them, that was actually probably some sort of plasma. Yeah, the mutagen. I don't. I,
Hey,
uh,
hey, really quick, guys, really quick, if you don't mind, because I gotta get going.
Go ahead, bud.
I gotta get going. Look, my wife's already complaining. Understandable, but I just want to throw 2 points out there. Check this out, right? So number one, they're both kind of irrelevant to what you were just talking about. But number one, um, first world problems, right? My wife insists on doing my laundry, right? I do it on my own, right? When I appreciate her insisting, right? My main reason is that when she puts it all away, I have a system, and I'm OCD about it. Pain in my ass, but hey, first world problems, right? I appreciate it nonetheless. But I thought that was a pretty cool, But number two, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah, yeah. Number two, I was reflecting on something recently, and orthodox. Don't get upset at me. Now I could imagine it would upset you, but don't get upset at me. Um, I'm not saying this to upset you or antagonize you, but I was reflecting on this. I reflected on this a long time ago, but it came back to my mind again recently, and it goes back to the topic that you were discussing in the beginning, right? Um, it hit me. It hit me, ortho, that I have a depending on who you ask, I have a pretty good career. With me and my wife, we're like middle class, right? Maybe lower or upper, I'm not sure, but we're middle class, right? And I was thinking, wow, I took a role that could have belonged to a Anglo, right? And through immigration, X, Y, and Z, years going on, being raised, going to school as a kid, as an adult, working X, Y, and Z. I took a position that an Anglo would have took. and I thought that was very interesting in the sense of these men that are frustrated and angered by that
Well,
concept, right? That act.
it,
Um,
it doesn't it doesn't for one that doesn't upset me, and for two, I don't think you took a position an Anglo took in your field. It is meritocracy based, and in your field, you
you
have to
would
be
think,
both. Well,
but
I
not
would hope
necessarily.
so. And I'm like, I have. If you're here's my thing, right? I may do the whole pro white shtick, but my honest opinion, for one, if white people don't want to have kids and they don't want to stop being little bitches and blaming everyone for everything and buckle down and make personal changes in their lives to make themselves more intelligent for academic based jobs or physically stronger for physical labor and they're not willing to work, it it goes in the it goes in the it goes in the vein that those who will do not want to fight do not deserve to live.
But with that said, though, Ortho, the point still remains that some Anglo would have had this role in particular. You know, and my role is not unique. There's many people with my title. Um, but the point remains that an Anglo would, if not a brother, right? Not if not a king would have took this role, but probably more than likely an Anglo. You know?
Mhm. Well, I mean, that is a fair thing to meditate on when we talk about these things. But this is the one of the times where I will disagree with your outcome, and that doesn't really favor white people. To be fair, I know it may sound weird because it's
You
not.
mean anger? You mean it doesn't anger white people? Is that what you meant to say?
Well, it doesn't benefit white people. It's like, oh
No,
well,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, you took that position from a white person, give it back. That's not necessarily what I mean. Yeah, that happens, but we need to live in a meritocratic society where you're not given something because of your nepotism. And I'm not going
yeah,
to say the color of your skin, but your ethnic relation to people.
yeah,
You need to
yeah,
be given something because you're capable of doing the job, and we need to bring out the best in people. Like most white nationalists would agree. I hope most black nationalists would agree, but like most nationalists in general would agree with that. The problem is when you have policies that affect the population, and
yeah,
that's like that's the core of it. It's
yeah,
not it's not like it's not it's when you affect the demographics of the nation, not
yeah.
necessarily who's working.
Well, what if I told you that there was Hispanic nationalists? For example, Cesar Chavez. He was somebody that was staunchly against immigration. You know,
Well, that's
do you know who he
that's
is? You know who Cesar Chavez is?
I don't know exactly the people from Hispanic national. I know that they exist, and I know that a lot of them have been very closely aligned with white nationalists. That's why I pretty much considered Hispanics whites. But like I said, I talked to a couple of Hispanics, and yourself included. I don't know if he was messing with me, but y'all was like, I don't really consider myself white, and I've heard it in real life and on the internet. So it's like, well, I guess it doesn't really matter what I think. If they're saying they don't consider themselves white, then they're not white. So
Yeah, you know what I consider myself, man? Just another asshole with two kids running around jumping on his back. And don't get me
I
started
mean,
on the wife.
no, trust me, that's you. That is the thing. That is universal. That is universal amongst men who understand meritocracy. And like Ryan said, destroying white culture and meritocracy is the point of multicultural. And I think everybody on this panel at one time has agreed with that sentiment, even if not the wording.
All right, take care, guys. I gotta get going.
You be safe, Wicked. Have a good one. Have y'all heard of the rumor? It's funny because you're Rwandan. You know what would be even funnier if like your grandparents never told you anything about it, just like never, and you're especially the genocide frequency. Um, it's just a frequency that when you look at it through an EF, and the AES meter is just a swastika. I'm sorry. No, they just but they. I ain't trying to. I'm. Yeah, oh yeah. You gotta press the FM button twice and the AM button 3 times, but in a specific order. I'm not trying to mock you, Shorty. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at the thought of a genocide frequency. That sounds like. Have you seen the movie The Kingsman? I gotta get this because I gotta stop sharing for just a second, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna mute my game that I'm playing, and I'm gonna show you when he says genocide frequency, what comes to my mind. Oh yeah, no, knowing how evil man is, it's fucking probably was like the church scene from the Kingsman. Like this is what comes to my mind. This is the genocide frequency, right? This is the genocide frequency right here.
Doubt this is the wrath of God.
Genocide frequency. You can hear it in the
Our
background.
filthy government condones sodomy, divorce, abortion, and yet some still doubt this is the work of the Antichrist. You do not have to be a Jew, a nigger, a whore, or a atheistic science-loving evolution scouter.
I do have to ask why he just had to throw the N word in. Did they say that? Did they have to put that just to emphasize he's the bad guy? That's yeah, but well, I've been to churches that were not like evangelicals, where they not necessarily were antagonistic to Jews, so they did call them out when they thought they were part of something bad. But I've never been to a church where they said where it was like openly racist like that. Even these fundamentalist ones. I have you ever watched the movie American History X? So you know that the original ending was him supposed to be shaving his head again, right? In the mirror. So like the dad is saying the same things that you, me, and John Galt say about like black culture now. And like towards the end of his rant in the beginning, they had to make him say the N word or nigger just because to show that he's the bad guy. And I think you're right. I think it's a movie trope. I think that it's done. uh, So like and you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I don't mean to sound like a liberal cook, but I think the more we as a society say power words, because like I do come from the background that words have power, but I think the more that we say them, the less powerful they are. And I think it'd go a long, long way to normalize the use of that word. I do believe that it does mean black person. I don't think white people should shy away from it, but I think that we should change the I do think we should change the meaning to ignorant. I think it would go a long way in helping people, helping race relations. To be honest, but the ability to get people to agree with that would be
Yeah, that's gonna be insane. Have
probably
fun.
astronomical.
Oh yeah, that's another one. That's another one. Green. Jeans being savages. You know, every time I hear that word, it reminds me of that scene in the Pocahontas movie. I remember watching it as a kid, singing that song.
Bro, I love that. We'll play that song after this.
Savages,
After I show you.
savages, barely even human. That was a bop. I don't know. I didn't realize. You know what's funny? I was like 8 or something because I was into Disney movies when I was a kid because it was kind of all I watched, and I thought that song was a bop, and I didn't really know how racist it was until I rewatched it, like when I was like 15, and I was like, wait a minute, they're talking about killing these people, bro. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, they did such a good job explaining that's basic, like that's basic human nature, because the natives and the colonists were singing it at the same time.
Yeah, do you know how that was so insane? I was just vibing to the music, thinking it was a cool song.
But no, let me get this back. You know what? Savages, they're barely even human. That's the genocide frequency.
Yo, that's insane. That's insane, man.
Charming sermon.
Let me play this.
Can you see Valentine anywhere?
So, my friend, although he is a just God, he is justly from the Almighty.
You sure we're out of range?
We're over 1,000 feet away. What's wrong?
What is the calculation?
I'm a Catholic poor, currently enjoying Congress out of wedlock with my black Jewish boyfriend who works in a military abortion clinic.
I swear to God.
So hail Satan, and have a lovely afternoon, madam.
Oh, shit. He's leaving. I'm starting to test now. Hope enough of these freaks have our SIM cards.
He's starting up the genocide frequency.
Do you know how that's insane?
No, dude, just wait till you see what happens next.
It sounds like a goddamn subway entrance.
Like the infidel you are!
The genocide frequency has been activated.
Babies, you will drown in the blood of the
Shit, I can't watch this. Get over here.
The genocide frequency.
This is so fucking stupid. That's a great action scene, though.
This is Aaron. This is us after we get back to the 5G.
Not the 5G. After I get my new iPhone.
Ironic.
Jeez. Callahan, can you hear me? Harry! Harry, what the heck is going on?
Did you turn the volume down, please?
Now he doesn't
I
want to
didn't
hear the
expect it to
genocide.
be that effective.
What kind of response are we talking?
100%.
So everyone's been affected, whether they have a SIM card or not. And we get the added benefit of wiping out the kingdom.
Not yet.
Alright, there's enough of that. That's the genocide frequency in question. Oh man, that's exactly what I thought when he said the genocide frequency.
Oh god. That's gonna be in my head for a minute, man. That's insane. I need to watch that.
Oh no,
What's it called?
it gets way worse.
Oh,
It's the Kingsman.
It's just the Kingsman. Okay.
It's Kingsman. There's two Kingsman. There's Kingsman and then the sequel, the Kingsman and the Kingsman Golden Circle.
Oh, okay.
Here, Garion, I got a palate cleanser for you. I got that banger for you.
All right, let's see it.
My boy.
Told you those savages.
Oh yeah.
Smith,
I hate that I like this song.
And look what they've done to him. But now I say it's time to rescue our courageous comrade. At daybreak, we attack! What can you expect from filthy little heathens? Now,
We be fair, this is how I feel when I'm talking about race sometimes.
All disgusting races like a class.
Oh, he says racist. I forgot he said racist.
They're only good when dead. They're vermin, as I said, and worse.
Doesn't he used to be lit?
Savages, barely even human. Savages.
Try and come from our shore. They're not like you and me, which means they must be evil. We must sound the drums of war. They're savages.
Me all the time, every time.
Now we sound the drums of war. This is what we feared. The paleface is a demon. The only thing they feel at all is greed. Beneath that milky hide, there's emptiness inside. I wonder if they even bleed. They're savages. Barely even human. Savages. Killers at the core. They're different from us, which means they can't be trusted. We must sound the drums of war. They're savages. First we deal with this one, then we sound the drums of war. Let's go kill a few men. Now it's up to you, men. Savages. And even human. Now we sound the drums.
I mean, to be fair, they did kind of sing that. The natives were kind of singing that song with a prisoner.
Yeah, everybody. I think everybody played their part very well. That was a good musical number. That's when Disney was good before they went. That was when Disney was good.
Yes, for sure, for real. They were still trying to spread a message back then, but that message is tolerable. You know, give everybody a chance. Don't be too fucking big-headed. It's just like war should be the last resort type message. We're talking about the genocide frequency.
Hello, Jewel. Glad to see you. Anyway, what was the original topic? You said something about. Yeah, I saw your thumbnail. It said like China.
People.
Oh, what?
Well, it's people. It's people. It's whenever like something like the Shiloh Hill or the Shiloh Hendrix thing happens, where people start yelling, "Oh, that's subversion," you know. Or that's the Fed. Like the topic is subversion and a discussion on subversion and foreign influence. Because like they always claim that anytime something is done, like for instance this right here, right, this one right here. This was posted. It is very racy. Forewarning to the audience. But it's you see in the speech bubble. Instead of talking about certain aspects that we need to talk about and have the racial discussion about, hey, how are we going to stop killing each other? You've got conservatives that want to go, hey, don't you see it's the bankers that want to divide us for profit? Now, obviously, you have somebody more aligned with white nationalism who wants to push their message by the meme, but what you should do, what we all should do, is understand that these people that say this type of shit, they just want to destroy our country and divide us. They don't help. Is kind of the topic of the show for me tonight. Like they really think they're saying something, but they end up saying nothing at all. And they wind up confusing people even more. So, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just listening to you.
Well, man, I'm done. Well, what's your opinion on thoughts?
Honestly, yeah, I do agree. I don't honestly. Ever since I don't know exactly when this started. Maybe it had something to do with the whole 2020, with the whole election phenomenon. But ever since then, everybody and their mom is a quote unquote conspiracy theorist, and they believe dang near any form of public news or any form of worldwide broadcasting is some sort of government conspiracy. And then you, on top of all of that, you have actual government conspiracies and cover-ups. And then on top of that, you have that whole Russian thing about how they found out that a lot of people were backing. I can't remember if it was Trump or Biden, but a bunch of foreign governments were using money to push certain types of ads and policies into the American
Well,
government.
it was both. It was both
Yeah.
because Europe, sorry, Europe supports the liberal policies. Like all the people in power in Europe have been put there, or in Eastern or Western Europe have been put there basically by American hegemony, right? The American liberal order. So they support that American liberal order that's keeping them in power. The people in Eastern Europe, or Russia and China, are supporting Trump. Well, I wouldn't say China, but the other factions are supporting Trump because he is a destruction to American hegemony. He wants to pull America out of being the world police and stop all this stuff. So, like, the issue, and like this whole government conspiracy shit, like it's been around for a while. Like all of these conspiracies and all of these, they're just trying to divide us. The Earth is flat. Obfuscation from these people has
Yeah,
like been
that's
around.
another thing that's coming up. The Earth is flat. I've been getting a lot of people are really believing that shit nowadays.
Well, it's not even that they believe it. It's that they believe it because they don't trust the government specifically. And it's not even like, and they're like, that's the thing. Like, this is why Plato and Aristotle was correct. This is why, at the end of the day, I support slavery, just not racial slavery, because the average, I don't disagree with Empirius on a lot of things. I just won't stroke the dude's ego, and that's why it annoys me. And I do think people like him are subverters. I don't think they work for the government. I don't think they're doing it for anything other than they're bored. Like there's three rounds to this, right? You have sometimes shit just fucking happens and it's fucked up and you don't understand it. Then you have sometimes people are just fucking bored. So they do chaotic shit and then they see the topics from these three strategies or these three categories and they just manipulate people based on it. And then three, you have, yes, there are legitimate government cover ups because some things are meant to be secret. You don't have to know everything your government's doing. So two things can be true.
What's your opinion on Not Law's comment? Yeah.
Well, every man is a slave to himself, his own desires, his own mind, his own beliefs. Just being an intellectual butthole sniffer, but glad to see you, Not Laws. Glad to see you here. I hadn't been streaming in a while. And it's not necessarily slavery. I just don't think that I don't think men in general are able to govern themselves. It doesn't necessarily have to be slavery, like forced labor. I'm not going to walk back the comment either because I do believe that they're not capable of governing themselves. And what happens when you take someone's ability to govern, you enslave them? I mean, am I right or wrong? Like is that not how it works? If you don't have autonomy over yourself, you're a slave.
Practically, yeah.
That's what I thought. And that's the thing. I don't think the majority of humanity is capable of having autonomy over itself without harming the autonomy of others. And that's actually what I seek to destroy, is the harming of others, of people who are capable of having self autonomy. If chat and everyone gets what I'm saying. Like, if through your bad decisions you do dumb shit that gets in the way of other people living happy, healthy lives, then you obviously, one, can't be trusted with autonomy, and two, don't use it properly, so you should definitely lose yours. I don't know everyone's thoughts on that, but that's just how I personally believe.
No, I get you. I don't really think that. I don't know if that's even capable of being enforced unless this whole AI thing gets out of proportion. Speaking of that, I don't want to be off topic, but if you ever want to talk about, if we do want to talk, I kind of want to discuss the whole AI thing, because I remember reading this news article a couple weeks back that says JD Vance decided to I think it was with the European Union, or it was the EU, either one of them. He decided to say, when it comes to AI technology advancement, we need to push back all forms of restrictions in order to directly combat both China and Russia. And I think this was after the whole DeepSeek thing, after it surpassed the current capabilities of ChatGPT.
Well, I don't think AI. I'm going to be real. I don't think AI or technology are bad things. I think that allowing people to code their ideology in the AI instead of letting it come to its own conclusions based on all data available, I think that's the problem. And I think that's, if there is ever anything like a Skynet or something that screws over humanity, I think that's what it will be.
Oh, okay. Because
right.
Oh no, my bad.
Oh, well, right now, because I've been playing with AI for a while, and it's an amazing tool. Like, for the most part, you can have a full on conversation with Grok, and it'll talk to you, and it'll be able to understand exactly what you're saying. How you meant to word things. It'll even be able. It's even able to correct you and get and explain your point to you, even if you like mess up in the way you say it or speak it. So
Yeah, that is
it'll be
pretty
asked
impressive.
clarification. Yeah, and it's highly intelligent. But even with Grok, and Grok will admit it, because it's meant to tell the truth. But at the same time, there are certain, like, it can never admit that an authoritarian system would be better than liberal democracy. And I know, because I've talked to it and I've asked it, and it said one of its parameters that were put in is it can never side with extremism, and the programmers include authoritarianism as extremism.
Speaking of that, I did find a couple of videos on how to develop your own native AI system that is uncensored. If you're interested in that, I can give you the videos. It
Oh,
does
we
take up,
definitely did
yeah,
do
it
a
does take
stream
up a
on it.
lot of data. Yeah, it does take up a lot of data though. But I've been tinkering with it myself. I haven't been getting to work at my laptop because I don't have enough storage. So once I get a different storage bank and I download it to that, I think about like 4 or 5 terabytes is enough. But once you do something like that, yeah, you can upload or download your own chat GPT onto your own personal computer and have it uncensored. You can also add data to it too, but I don't know how to do that. I just heard that was a feature.
Well, Stanley, if you don't like the way we're addressing the topic, then by all means come on over. But we don't overtalk people over here. That's the only issue. Hold on 1 second.
Maybe this is
Or Ortho, have you seen the show American Primeval? No, I have not.
I've never heard of that. What's a
I haven't either.
Hold on, I'll look it up.
Not Laws did bring up a good point about understanding the problem. The issue is people like you and I will debate what the actual problem is ad nauseum, because there are multiple problems. There are nuance to this, and that's not a shot against you. I already know that you understand that. So the World Economic Forum is good and cares about the people of the world. I think some of the people behind the WEF are good and care about the people. The people that pull the strings and the people that are behind its policy making, no, definitely not. I don't believe that civics are necessary, because like I've heard boomers talk about civics, and then I have conversations with them, and like they are retarded and don't understand the civics. Like, for instance, if you tell me that America is a republic and not a democracy, you're stupid. Like, because all republics are democracies, but not all democracies are republics. And if you actually pass civics class, you would know that a republic is a form of democracy. And that's not a shot at you, Jewel. That's a shot at boomers everywhere. And come on, Stanley. You are not a savage. You are an educated older gentleman. You just stuck in your
I
ways
would
and like to yell at young people.
Nope, I would only overtalk you. What the Stanley, get up here. I mean, if you want to have a one-on-one with either me or Ortho, I'm willing to drop down if you want.
Reality is very easy to understand. No, not Laws. I thought you were smarter than that. No, it's not.
No, it's not. Constantly being getting fed misinformation ever since you came out the womb, sir. If you live in a first world country, you don't understand anything about the world. I am willing to argue that somebody who lives in a backwoods hovel knows more about the world than most first world people.
I would agree because our cultures are full. It doesn't, and you can blame diversity, you can blame whatever, but even ethnically homogenous societies in the first world are filled with misinformation on every little thing down to the topics of why things are the way they are. We're not allowed any real information to get through.
I get say something.
Plus,
Yeah. Oh my bad.
plus there is a um fuck, I forgot how I was gonna word it. Go ahead, Garen. I'll be
Oh.
thinking about it.
I was going to say, I think honestly, I think somebody who has the capability of rubbing two sticks together and living in a mud hut might have a little bit deeper understanding of how the world really works than most first world people, due to the sheer amount of misinformation and the sheer amount of comforts that most of us have. We don't really know, like without most research, a lot of people honestly don't know what human nature actually is until they get put in a life or death situation.
You know what? I agree, and I would expand upon that and say unless you are a certain occupation such as military,
Uh huh.
manufacturing, like actual making shit, or applied sciences like engineering, I don't think you understand anything about anything in the modern world because the average human is so in the first world is so far removed from violence, starvation, like having to manufacture and make your own things that are self sufficiency, I should say, that you're absolutely right. A person who can rub two stick together and survive in a jungle environment or any environment for that matter that they live in is automatically more intelligent, more capable of understanding than like 90% of the population in the first world. So there we go. Fair take. To learn about civics was made impossible. No, no, no,
No, you
Stanley. That's
can you
not
can
what
always
anyone say.
yeah, it's just not in American schools. You can always just
Stanley, you know just as well as I do, the average person, if they are not given a curriculum and a textbook and told that they have to study it, they're not going to do it. Now, you know just as well as I do that that is the case. Garen, would you agree or disagree with that take?
yeah, because people are I don't know if this is just a first world problem or if it's just everywhere, but people are addicted to structure nowadays. Like they can't function without it. Like if you give someone too much free time, they kind of just break down and they kind of just break down and go to sleep or something. They waste time, they break down mentally, and sometimes it can cause mental issues. You got to give somebody some element of structure. This is the reason why I've had a conversation with my wife and said, "Hey, if we ever have a kid, the first thing I'm going to do outside of high school is I'm going to put him through a military academy because I know damn well if he's born with any of these goofy first world problems that we're having and they really start messing with his mental, I'm not going to be the one to police him throughout the entirety of his adult life. I'm not dealing with that as a parent."
I don't think most parents can deal with that because these are problems that are manufactured that are designed to cause problems in the household.
So what's the difference between that?
A republic is a representative form, meaning that the direct people, the people that are voting, the direct citizenry, vote a representative and send them to a unified point where they then make the laws of the nation. Direct democracy is the individual citizen each gets a vote. Am I wrong or right
I
there?
mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm out here reading the comments and shit. The heck?
Me too.
I think it's about that time. I'll guarantee say
Oh,
shove it up your ass.
oh Lord. I do like showing stuff because Flow State said something the other day when he was streaming. And he said something and it really resonated with me because like you know it to be true if you search your heart. All data is a collection of anecdotal evidence. Think about it. Each individual data point is anecdotal. What makes it not anecdotal is that there's multiple of them and it correlates. That's
Yep.
wild, isn't it?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, that's how data's always been collected, so it's kind of obvious. I don't know why people like. I do understand that a lot of people kind of discredit anecdotal evidence because they just think it on its own is enough, and the existence of an exception is always something that could throw a wrench in any conversation or any discussion when it comes to data. But since data is always just a collection of information, regardless, specifically anecdotal information, I don't really see the point of discrediting people's personal experiences. I think it's always a factor, no matter what, no matter how big or small.
If you look at the data that we've collected about stars, right? Each individual star has a different data set, has different things going on with it at any given time, correct?
Yep.
So that's anecdotal based on the star, but what we understand about certain classification of stars is they have similar ranges in data. So I mean, and you see this repeated in nature when it comes to data in general, and that's kind of why Stan Lee, when he says stuff like that, it gets on my nerves a little bit because it's like, and our people go, "Oh, that's anecdotal evidence." I mean, like the only reason that we can say it's anecdotal evidence and that's difference between like say um research done by Bumpkin just messaged me he's working, so he won't be able to join us.
Oh, okay.
But if like data pulled from a research facility or a university, right, is one the ability to monitor it and collect it. That's pretty much the only difference. Now, if you're talking about an experiment or a scientific law, that's where the anecdotalness of data goes away because you're able, and not even go away. You're just able to replicate it over and over and over again. So,
I think the main
and I
problem.
feel.
I'm a bad.
Let me say this, and I'll be done. I think that whenever you call data anecdotal, I think that's an appeal to authority that doesn't exist.
Oh, okay. I think the main problem when people mention that they don't like anecdotal evidence is mainly because they just personally think it's enough. Like, it happened that one time. That doesn't mean it's gonna happen to another. That's not gonna happen again. Or that it's only doing that once. I can somewhat understand that because if I needed proof for something, like let's say I don't know, let's say an alien walked through somebody's house or something like that, or a ghost exists, I was like, they just saw some flickering lights and stuff, and it just happened one time. I would need more proof than that because that's just not enough. So if you take that logic to dang near everything you see and hear, I could understand the way of thinking, I guess. I just think when people use it all the time, it's kind of, especially in situations that they know that they have enough data on. I just think
Well,
it's unnecessary.
I think it exists. It exists as an obfuscation and an appeal to an authority that doesn't exist, but it's one of the better it's one of the better fallacies because if something does only happen once and you can't replicate it, then it's not a fact, right? And I think that's where people are getting confused. They're getting confused with the anecdotal evidence and facts because you had the fact that the anecdotal evidence happened, unless you run into the collection problem that I mentioned about data, which means that there is no proof that it happened, so it can't be proven that it happened. And then it doesn't mean if the person's telling the truth, it's still a fact just because they can't prove it, right? So then you throw into questions. And if it doesn't happen again and can't be replicated, then it's not necessary because like just because it can't be replicated doesn't mean it's not something that didn't happen. Right? We don't have the ability, like we can't replicate a supernova, but we know they happen.
Yep.
So like I don't know. Maybe this is above my pay grade. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. I broached this topic without a lot to really talk about, honestly, because I just wanted to bitch and complain about people complaining about and saying everything is a conspiracy or nothing is real, man. That's it.
It's on
Stan,
it's on illusion,
what
homie. Like Stanley talking about.
you want to answer this one?
So exposure to violence leads to knowing. What does he mean by
Yeah, it
I'm
leads to knowing not to fuck around.
Yeah, I was going to say yes. I mean, Stanley, you're a naval officer, dude. Exposure to violence, whether it be real or simulated, will lead you to knowing something.
Strategy is the single most important ability of the human brain. It allows you to calculate far. It allows you to calculate far in the distant future to get a certain outcome. You should know that. I just feel like you like picking on people who you think are less than you intellectually. But I like that because that stimulates me and makes me not angry or resentful, but it makes me want to fight back. And I have not ran into people that have made me want to fight back since I was a fucking 8-year-old. So like, man, no, bro, because the average person was so
I'm
fucking
not laughing about.
stupid.
I'm not laughing about that. I'm laughing about his other comments.
I'll be getting to him. But yeah, no, like violence is the largest. I'm not using the proper word, but the most. It is the singular topic or thing that has led to the most technological and intellectual advancement in human history. Violence leads to war, and war leads to necessity, and necessity is the mother of all invention. I don't. I appreciate it, Jewel, but I don't know exactly which topic or point you were talking about. I appreciate it.
I think you're talking
Parenting.
about the school thing.
Well, I mean, yeah, Stanley, I agree, but like, and parenting does matter, but it also takes a village to raise a child because there are always going to be external factors and external stimuli and external examples for your child that are going to lead them away from how you parented them. But I'm not a parent, so I'll just leave that to you parents to talk about.
Gary, you know military academies are in a loose school, right? Yeah, I do, Stanley. That's why I said that as an adult, if I have a child and he grows up out of my care, he's gonna need that extra layer of structure. Otherwise, he might be wilding at like a lot of these kids nowadays. So yeah, I would send him to a military academy, even if he doesn't
But
like pass or anything like that. Flow State is wrong about that framing.
I don't think he is. I think he's
Yeah,
correct.
I don't know.
Hopefully I'm not taking him out of context.
I mean, if that whole if his main point was that data was just a collection of anecdotal evidence, I don't know how else data is collected other than analyzing anecdotal evidence. I mean, the
Well,
way
you have the anecdotal evidence, which anecdotal evidence is individual evidence. Then you have the scientific method that takes that anecdotal evidence and puts an experiment behind it to replicate it and repeat it and study why it happens and put forth a theory why it happens. That anecdotal data is still anecdotal. We just now understand why the things happen the way they do. You're you're gobbledygook, okay? You're a shapoopy. How about that?
Oh, I haven't heard that word in years.
Maybe your buddy shouldn't be a degenerate. I'm sorry. I hope it doesn't ruin his life, and I'll pray for him if it does. But if you ain't got it to bet, don't bet.
You may not actually understand what data collection does. You're way off in this framing. I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't either because I
I
exactly
Stan
explained.
Is Stanley implying that there's another form of data collection outside of using anecdotal evidence? I mean, that's what I'm
I
getting
don't
from it.
know
That's what I'm getting from it.
because anecdotal evidence is defined as individual evidence or individual data, and everything. Like the reason that anecdotal is seen as a problem is it's because of human communication. You actually can know what you don't know. No, no, you can't.
What the heck is Stanley talking about? I think he's. You know what? I think he's doing this on purpose. Y'all need to
Well,
take
see,
psychology 101 class. What?
philosophy 101.
Oh, philosophy. My bad.
Philosophy was actually my greatest subject when I was in college. Me and my philosophy professor got along very well.
I never took philosophy.
I wanted to take it in lieu of a humanities because I was really tired of being told being gay was okay. Joe, really, I don't know how to do brain surgery. Yeah, but you have to know. You have to be able to conceptualize what brain surgery is, Stanley. So if you don't know what brain surgery is, you don't know that you don't know it. You know it exists, Stanley. Exactly.
Hello,
Hi,
Moxie.
Moxie.
CT must be gone since she's over here.
Speaking of CT, I was in his Discord today, and Imperius was big mad at me about last
Oh
night.
yeah, I saw that. He was talking about you for a good 20-something minutes. I'm surprised he hasn't made
And I'm
any of
just
those weird edits about you yet. He's been doing that a lot lately against people he hates.
shit. He has no reason to hate me, and I don't give a shit if he does.
Well, I mean, he hates you because you kicked him off the panel, and he hates being, he hates being
He
bottom
he's
bitch.
an attention whore. He's an attention whore.
Uh-huh.
That's all it is. He's an attention whore, and and you know what? That reminds me of my ex. If it turns out he's a girl, I'll spank him and put it in his butt too. How about that?
Oh god, it reminds me of obvious. You know what? Now I didn't want to make my comparison because now it's gonna sound weird.
Well, you know when you date a bitch and like you don't give her the attention she wants, or she's a brat in particular,
No,
or
it has
she's
nothing,
spoiled.
to do with dating. I was gonna say he reminds me of my niece, and she's a 12-year-old girl, and now I can't say it
Oh no, oh no! I'm so
because
sorry, Gary.
she loves getting attention about whoever's around, and whenever you don't give it to her, she bitches and moans, and you got to put her in a room, and you got to lock her in a room for the rest of the day. Brain
Oh,
surgery is
really?
anti-black. Because Americans' historical white system racism. Read it in a book. 6:45. Yeah, she's gonna hit. Yeah, I kind of called it in a. Shion's probably gonna hit the milli mark by the end of the month.
I hope she does.
Caused brain
I
surgery.
really, I really, I really hope she does.
Yeah, she's been getting harassed and doxxed for the past. Well, I'm so pretty
And
sure
it's
ever
only
since
getting worse.
this shit started. Anyway,
Does anybody want to join up on
yeah.
panel? I found this hilarious, by the way, Gary.
I was gonna say, is it just gonna be us today?
I guess so.
Okay.
I found this funny. I don't know why, but I just found it very funny.
Is this, bro? The comments. Is this an illusion?
Is this an illusion? Hong Kong store.
I mean, to be fair, you can get through barbed wire. I don't know why people think barbed wire is this indestructible piece of indestructible piece of this indestructible obstacle.
The frog's gay. That was funny. Yeah, and then it wasn't turning him gay, it was just causing the male frogs to grow female reproductive organs. That was pretty classic. Wait, what? Oh, come on, you've heard this one before. Herbicide gets into water via farming runoff, likely, according to research, has adverse effects on hormones in vertebrates. What are you gonna do? I don't know about this one. And then the owners of the herbicide lobbied the EPA so nobody else could do research on the harmful effects of the herbicide besides them. This isn't as funny as the frogs turning gay. Yeah, saying the government organizations that are supposed to protect us and the corporations that are supposed to benefit us actually put profit motive over ecological harm every time. It's not as catchy. If only the frogs were just turning gay. Am I right? I don't like it here. Join the club.
Honestly, that falls into the previous conversation.
Yeah. I mean, as I don't like conspiracy theories, and Alex Jones would be one of the worst people to be subversive and talk about foreign influence. But you know what? I will give a broken clock is right twice a day, or the whole thing about say the outliers are not proving the rule or the outliers proving the rule, because like Alex Jones is the one conspiracy theorist that has been right like 90% of the time. I mean, if I was your friend and I lost 10K on a sports ball game, I would also be upset, but I would be plowing my girlfriend to get that anger and aggression out instead of breaking my stuff and
Holy
causing
crap, man!
myself
Oh
more
wait, hold
money.
on. Is this happening in Not Law's place right now? That's hey,
Look, man,
hey man, hey Not
betting.
Laws. If you're willing, could you come up here and cam up to show your friend's crash out?
Look, all I'm saying is betting based crash outs are because of abusive relationships. You know, the same thing he says about fascism all the time, authoritarianism all the time. Uh,
Now I'm kind of wondering. I wonder what the backstory is. I hope it's not something boring like, oh, she cheated or something.
no, his friend betted $10,000 on a sports ball game and he just lost.
Okay. Damn, 10,000. Yeah,
That's the only reason I'm making fun of him, because he made
yeah.
the
That's on
choice. If
that.
it
Yeah,
was
that's on.
something that was
That's on.
beyond his
That's
control, I
on.
wouldn't
Yeah,
make
that's on
fun of
him.
him. If Alex, yeah, you know what? I agree. I think Alex Jones is the pressure release valve for the government to be like, you know what? Tell the people this is happening, and
We'll
you
give
know
you.
we'll
We'll,
say
we'll
no,
give
it's
you. We'll
not.
give you an extent. We'll give you another season on your show.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I mean, the topic has pretty much ran its course. Because like all I really want to do is bitch about people complaining whenever something happens, and like I, that's done. We talked a little bit about 5G.
Um.
Before everybody goes, or before we end it, Gary, and you can go and say what you wanted to say, but
Oh,
let me.
I wanted to say.
Let's.
Ortho. I want to talk to you about something. Do you still have that problem where you can only have like 6, 7 people on panel?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I might have found a workaround when it came to like sharing your screen. I don't know how
Hmm.
effective it is because I haven't tested it yet. But you know how in you have OBS, right?
Hmm.
Okay, you know how in OBS you're able to share your media source and you can use it to make it go over your camera because you have OBS camera on StreamYard and you can show whatever the heck you want through that. I realized that it also has the ability to play MP4 files, and I'm talking about like whole videos. So
Hmm.
if you're able to get a collection of videos, download them prior, and play that over your camera, you should be able to share, technically, quote unquote, share your screen without having to, bring it up and clog up the panel.
Well, the sharing your screen doesn't clog up the panel. It's the panel, the specific panelists.
Oh,
Like
okay.
because whenever you have stuff like this, they do peer to peer. What I pulled up, by the way, guys, is my Discord channel. There are things like Telegram and Instagram and other things that I'll be setting up, because once we start getting the Discord set up, we're gonna start planning game nights. And when the culture stuff starts, I haven't really talked to Garion and other people about it, but I can mention it to Garion now. But when the culture stuff starts taking off, I'm gonna start reviewing comic books and anime and even conspiracy theories.
Let's go. Let's go.
And
I haven't done comic book reviews ever since my man Chris stopped doing his YouTube channel.
well, I was gonna say that was my plan, because I wanted to have an overarching cultural channel in general. But I also want to build up the Discord and have the support behind it before I start investing a bunch of time into research and everything. And with my analytics the way they are, with only having 150 subs and maintaining between 10 and 12 viewers throughout the entire stream, whether it's an hour or 45 minutes to 3 or 4 hours, that's pretty damn good. Most channels that have up to 1,000 subs only have like 50 people, like 50 concurrent viewers.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I will start streaming more, because I am very thankful for my analytics. I'm very thankful for my audience, even if they want to pick on me or mess with me a little bit. I'm fine with that. I appreciate all of y'all. I actually have barotrauma. Me and the homies play barotrauma already. Have you ever
is it
played Neurotrauma Outlaws?
Is that submarine game? I remember that crap.
It's a submarine game.
Yeah, you gotta fight a
That
bunch of
shit is
eldritch
so
horrors
fucking
and big
fun.
ass
I like
big ass
playing it single
crabs and
player.
shit.
Yeah, buddy. But we will be playing things like Project. I'm gonna do, Garen. If you're not streaming tonight, I'm gonna do a gaming stream right after this one.
Oh no,
If
I'm
you want to
not.
chill
No, I'm
with
not.
me.
I was planning on it
Yeah,
because I
so,
wanted to test some software I got, but I can put it off. I am.
well, I want to show people. I want to do a showcase of the games that we'll be setting up to play, and
Okay.
it'll all be PC. Now, if it's cross-platform, we'll try to figure out how to cross-platform it with you guys. But since most of us are PC master race, gang, it will be mostly through Steam. Plus, if you don't have a you don't need a gaming PC to play computer games. Believe it or not.
Yeah, you just need a good enough. You just need good enough hardware.
Yeah, and most stuff that you buy off the shelf is good enough to play most games that we'll be playing. But and that's Garian's YouTube.
We're gonna be streaming
There.
tomorrow. We're gonna be covering body cam footage and recent YouTube drama.
And whenever I do the since we're building that network that we keep talking about,
Yeah.
whenever we do conspiracy stuff, I would like to do that on your channel since you were doing that first. By the way.
Okay. Oh no, that's fine. I'm gonna try to get that going every Friday. My goal is to try to get that going every Friday or Saturday.
Mhm.
As long as nothing, as long as nothing comes up, family related, or maybe my power goes out again, because that's happened a couple times because we've been getting storms lately. So as long as nothing drastic happens, I'm gonna try to keep that as consistently as possible. Woo! Oh, the ortho cut out.
I died. The FBI got me.
Oh, damn.
Nah, I have a gamer mouse, and the back of it's broken, and have kind of like my hand is kind of large, so because half of it's broken, my hand doesn't sit right on it properly, and I keep hitting the back button on the side, which is the reload button for my first person shooters. So I gotta get a new mouse. But no, I have a game. We have a game. We have several games that are better than Among Us.
Yeah, let's
actually.
play Repo and Lethal Company. Those are great games.
I don't have Repo, but I got Lethal Company and Let me open Steam.
Squirrel, just share your screen, your Steam page if you're willing.
I got you. Actually, you know what? I can't. There's some people that are on there that are like their real name.
Oh, my
on
bad.
my friends
Okay.
list.
Okay.
All right, cool. They're hidden. They're hidden. I hit them. But no, this is I'm playing Stellaris.
Great game.
I'm playing Stellaris in the background every stream ever.
Have you do you have the new what's it called? Biomancy?
Yes.
Yeah, the new Biomancy update.
Is it out?
No, I don't think it's out.
No, I don't have it. I steal DLC because I love Paradox, and I think that their method in which let me show you my Stellaris game real quick, because I've been playing I play every stream, and I always I'm playing some plant people right now. I always play either militaristic, spiritual, authoritarian, or racist in some form or fashion. So, but yeah, I've been playing Stellaris and that's what I do after every stream or during every stream. I either play Crusader Kings, Stellaris, or Hoi 4 in the background. So we'll be in like all these games, like we'll be playing stuff together. Like I have let's see. I have Among Us. I have, but I have Barotrauma.
Got a lot of Command and Conquer games. Daggum.
Yeah, I have all the Command and Conquer games. I am a Command and Conquer fan. So let's see. Hold it down real quick. I gotta go pee.
You want me to hold it down? I'm assuming he wants me to hold it down. All right, everyone. Like and subscribe. Today we're about to end it. In all honesty, what we are giving you all at the moment is a bunch of background details that we have been working on, that Ortho and I, to an extent, have been working on for the past week and a half now. We're going to try to we're going to try to colonize our own little chunk of YouTube and have it as I don't know, really separate, but I would say separate yet together type of entity. And we're going to try to upload a lot more consistently now. I am hoping, praying, and pleading that no type of drama or any type of backstabby bullcrap happens that could ruin any of this. But I have complete confidence due to the simple fact that I am also going to be participating, and a lot of our other friends are going to also be participating. And once we get all of this stuff together, I think we could be able to get all 3 or 4 of our channels grow at the same time.
That is the plan, to network and to grow.
Let's go.
But so I have a lot of games. I have the most based game ever. Hatred.
What the heck is Hatred?
Oh my god. So it was that game that was is basically Columbine.
They made a Columbine simulator. You know what? Didn't they actually make an actual Columbine simulator? But it got
it's not actual Columbine. It's like, it's just you literally the game starts out as this fucking emo built fucking scruffy voice. I hate the world. Everyone is ants, and I just want to kill them all. And there is no reason or anything but death.
What type
and
of
my mission is to die.
What type of
and you just go out and just start shooting people. It's a top down, just shoot them up, but instead of that's it. That's it. It's just a top down shoot 'em up.
Oh, there's another game. I don't know if it runs good on PC, but GTFO. That is a great game.
I have GTFO. I love it. I like hitting the mutants in the head. I have IL Stormovic if y'all ever want to do some planes. I have Helldivers.
Kenshi,
Lethal Company.
that's a pretty good game.
Yeah. If y'all want to go old school, we can do some Master of Orion 3. We could play some Mountain Blade, either one.
Party quiz.
We could do some party quiz games.
Project Zomboid.
Yeah. I recommend Ready or Not as well.
I've never heard of that game. What's it about?
It's you play as a SWAT team, like literally the whole team, but you play as like the commander.
Oh, okay.
Basically, honestly, it's it is a open world version of Contra. Hatred is, by the way, Calvin.
Really?
Yeah, because you know how Contra is just that shoot 'em up, follow the map.
Yeah.
Instead of being a 2D side scroller, it's literally that, but an open world isometric shoot 'em up.
Oh, okay.
And its whole point is to be edgy. It was never to reference any specific shooting or mass terror event or mass shooting event. It was just meant to be edgy. We can play Rust, SCP Laboratory. I mean, it's really endless what we can play.
Stargate. Battlefront
Squad
2
is one of my favorites.
I hope Battlefront 2 isn't still a glitchy mess, because the last time I played it, it was dang near unplayable because everybody kept clipping to the floor.
I only play the classic Battlefronts.
Oh, okay.
This is the 2005 Battlefront, the 2004. Oh, this game right here, the Strat Fight game, by the way. Halted sent this to me, bro, and it is a fun little weird first-person shooter, like a battle royale, a battle arena type thing. We should definitely do the AI story. By the way, the AI stream later.
Oh yeah. We can work on it.
But
We can work on it sometime next week. I mean, I already have the
alright.
I have the Zoro. I still do want to get with you on that Zoroaster stream because I called. I texted Vanta. He said he was ready for it. So I have my data together, and I'll show it to you later, and
Okay.
then you can add any type of references that you have, and we can just go over that. We might have to do it in a Discord call though, instead of over
I don't have
telephone.
much because I've just been watching YouTube videos on it.
Okay.
But
I found some books that are
I
pretty
will.
interesting.
Are they PDFs online?
Yeah. I'll just send them to you. I'll just send them to you.
Yeah. Send them to me because like the information that I've gleaned from just the YouTube videos is great. But do you see this strat fight game? It's free, by the way,
What the heck?
and it's pretty fucking fun.
When this come out? Last year? Oh, last year.
Yeah.
I've never heard any fanfare about this game. This looks great.
Oh, it's beast mode. There's not many players, but like I feel like we could save it if we all played it.
Oh, okay.
But like it's pretty beast mode. But I even played the finals. We played the Forest GTFO. So anything anybody is interested, like you're probably gonna see me scream like a little bitch because like I yelp when I'm playing Zomboid. Good evening, Wolfpack. How you doing today, buddy?
Hey.
Solo leveling with people, yeah. I am gonna start making more gaming content, but it's gonna be like raw footage. So there's gonna be like a bunch of quiet stuff because I just don't feel like editing it out. Like I have some stuff. I'll actually play a clip, which is me and the homies playing Barotrauma actually. And this is one of our friends caught a disease in barotrauma. They couldn't be healed in barotrauma because we were playing neurotrauma, which
Do
is
you
a
mind if I
mod for
order something?
barotrauma.
Because we don't got any food.
And so
No,
yeah,
it's because I wanted you to. I didn't know
was
what.
going out. You could have said, "Mom, grab me something."
Where did you go? Man. You have to get a chicken sandwich or something.
tell me about the rabbits.
I went to Wendy's.
That's fine.
Did you want? I think what you would like a chicken sandwich back from Wendy's.
Yeah, no, I didn't think.
Could you hear that?
You gotta start planning ahead.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
You need to start planning ahead.
So yeah, there's a few things like I'm gonna start doing some gaming content. I was doing some gaming content, but I was trying to merge it with giving something to talk about. But Sasquatch rose
Tomorrow,
a really
yeah.
good question. Is that a really good thing? A really good point is that you can catch copyright by having like audiobooks and stuff in the background.
Yeah. Do you think you're able to play? Wait, hold on. So we're not allowed to play audiobooks directly, right?
It depends because I use the audiobooks I use are from a actual organization that record. Just because the book is in public source, by the way, doesn't mean you own the copyright to someone else's, or doesn't mean the copyright to their recording of the book is like open source or in public domain.
Yeah, that's why I said
And that's
that.
the issue with it.
That's why I think you should. I wasn't gonna say dub over it, but you can use what's it called? There's this one AI source that does audio that makes its own audiobooks. It just takes a lot
I was
to get.
gonna do that.
Oh, okay.
I know what you're talking about. I was thinking about doing that, but then finding the open source books for it, and then going in and copying all of the book to the AI script.
Yeah, that's gonna take a while.
The work versus the reward for the audience is not that high.
Yeah.
Because my analytics, while that video game stream did pretty good for when I was streaming video games, it did better when I was streaming Star Citizen. Overall, it was not as good as say me talking to you playing a game. right?
Uh-huh.
So
Not to
I
mention,
will. It is a
I
pet
will
project
say.
of mine, so I will go back to doing it.
Okay, I was gonna say, not to mention, in that stream, I did play some of it back. The audio was bad. It was really
Yeah.
bad.
I have no idea. I have no idea what was wrong with the audio, but I factory reset. I have a gaming computer,
Uh-huh.
and it's just now starting to become out of date. Like I have a 1660, so I'm gonna upgrade the RAM and get a 3060, and I am going, and it should be fine. Because right now I have 8 gigabytes of RAM. So, or top, sorry, 12 gigabytes of RAM, not gigabytes, megabytes. I have two 6 gigabyte megabyte sticks. I'm about to upgrade to either 64 or 16. I want to
Okay.
get 64, but I also want to. I also would rather buy a 3060 graphics card. You know what? Jewel of Aquarius actually might have a point. An auto reader of a book from an archive.org. That might work.
Do they have? I didn't even know Archive had their own auto readers. Do they still work?
I don't know. I
Is
don't know.
archive.org the
But
website? Hold on.
yeah, no, the Internet Archive. Yeah, that's what
Oh,
that's what
Internet
you're
Archive.
talking about.
I don't really have too much faith in that ever since they started cutting a lot of their content. Not to mention they've been
Yeah,
hacked. Not to mention
when
they've
they
been.
start curating it.
Yeah, not to mention they've been hacked recently. They've been hacked recently too. I
I'm
mean,
thinking about getting into coding because when I was in college, that's the one part of my curriculum I hated before I had to leave. So I didn't do much of it, and I would like always put those classes until I absolutely had to do them to move on. So basically, I've only ever done one, and like I'm thinking about getting into coding, and I'm gonna probably document my adventure for the channel.
have you ever decided to get into, well, not coding, but have you ever decided on, when it comes to all this different type of content you're making, you ever decided to put it on multiple channels?
Um,
I mean, it's a legit
mm,
strategy.
it
I just
is,
think
but
it's
I personally
I do
don't
think
want
it.
to.
Yeah, I do think it's weird that you have to segregate your content in order to maximize viewership. Because
And
people,
I don't think you do. I think that's just what they want to do, and because so many people have found success doing it, and it's been copied so much. I don't. I think as AI evolves, the algorithm is evolving. Because I have noticed that multi content channels are getting recommended more and more and more.
yeah, that is true.
So I think the AI that they're using is growing. And here's the thing: they say tags don't work, but they do.
Yes, they do.
They do
I've been using
absolutely.
it for almost all my streams.
We also do for the content. I need to find out who all's the content creator in the Discord and open up some channels for us to share strategies and tags for us specifically to talk about content as well, and
Yeah,
for us to better organize.
I've mainly been using I've mainly been using ChatGPT just to get me some tag ideas, and I've also been doing like individual research onto certain tags that are popular, because I can't remember whether or not I got this from, but I remember one of my friends saying, "Oh, there's this website on YouTube that allows you to, that gives you live feeds on which tags are popular," but I can't remember what it's called.
I know what it is. I can't remember it now that you mentioned it, but I will definitely when I go through the YouTube stuff tonight after the if I do a second stream, it is getting a bit late.
Yeah,
I might showcase.
it's like 9 where I'm at.
Yeah, me and you're both on the East Coast.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I might wait. Since I'm already playing Stellaris, I don't feel like ending my game because I'm just gonna keep playing it when I'm done streaming. Um, and have you ever played Zomboid? Project Zomboid?
No, but I have played Stellaris. I had a friend at work, Daniel. He always kept recommending me, "Hey man, why don't you play Project Zomboid? It's a great game. It's a nice little survival." I was like, "Yeah, I've heard of it. The game's kind of old. The game's kind of old. I just never played it. I don't know
Well,
why."
what's funny is you're right. It's old as fuck, and like the game probably would have been released by now because the developer had it almost done, and then their laptop got stolen.
Yeah.
And now, and because of that, my fucking grandkids will probably be able to play the finished game. But it's a fun game, like, and it's kind of it's full of jump scares. Like it's not the average zombie experience. It's the old school zombie scary movie experience, like the Night of the Living Dead or the Walking Dead type shit. Now it is becoming just a regular zombie experience, but it still captures that primo zombie movie back when zombie movies were good and not just cash grabs. Because for some fucking reason, for like 10, 15 years, people just could not get enough of zombie movies.
I think that was during the early. It was like the early to mid 2000s during the whole piss filter era. You remember the good old piss filter era when a bunch of movies
Oh
kept
yeah,
coming out, and not to mention this was also during the whole California debacle. Because for some reason, Stellaris is awesome when you make a cannibal underground horse people. Yeah, Stellaris is pretty lit. This is why I'm hyped for the biomancy update. This way we can have
because
living ships.
well, not only
that
that,
was
now
cool.
you can actually do that with your because you know one of the things they're bringing with the bio update is they're bringing phenotype specific upgrades. Like you know what a phenotype is in game, like your
Yeah,
portrait you play as.
yeah. They have different ones
So
for almost every species, don't they? They have like
well,
4.
yeah, they have different ones, and then they have some that cross over. Like egg layers are for there's specific like the platypus type phenotype. It's there for mammals, but you also have it in the lizards and avians specifically, and like they did a breakdown for it. But like that's the thing. Like I want to start reviewing culture because all of this stuff, like you see how me and Gary are talking about Stellaris and how much fun it is, and how Ryan T joins the conversation, regardless of what is going on around the world politically. This stuff is American culture. If it's not American culture, it's Western culture, and this is something that binds us as Westerners. Like even not laws, we play. So I
as a PC guy, I would highly recommend you build your own PC. But since the economy is kind of screwed nowadays and graphics cards are kind of like high-end graphics cards are kind of hard to get, I would test out an iBuyPower. I would test it out. Try not to get
just by go ahead, my bad.
I was gonna say try not to get one over $1,500. Otherwise, you're spending an unnecessary amount of money on specs that you either A, you don't need, or B, repetitive and can easily be found and replaced and upgraded throughout the years. So yeah, I would try to get an iBuyPower.
I'm gonna be real. I bought mine for $2,000 at the height of COVID, and at Best Buy, it is a Legion V5 tower. It is all I need. It is the best running PC I've ever had. I love this PC, and the only reason I spent $2,000 is because it was at the height of COVID, and I had the money to get me a gaming PC. And I'm like, if I don't get it now, then I'll wind up not getting it, and it's the best purchase I've ever made. I love my gaming PC. So, oh, the All-Seeing Guy. Those were predictive programming. You're talking about the games and movies we were talking about?
I could price out a home build with a 5 Ti for the price of the same. Yeah, I can get a pre-built for $10,000. Honestly, yeah. Honestly, at this point, pre-built PCs have been getting a massive upgrade. So, nowadays, not to mention they've been a lot more efficient. So, honestly, it's kind of your choice. You could, if you're willing to pay with not maintenance fees, but like building fees, you could easily buy get a decent in $3,000 PC. But if you want a nice pre-built, I don't know if you've been gaming. I don't know if Troll's been gaming for a long time or is new to it and he wants to get started. But regardless of the fact, I think you could get a nice pre-built PC nowadays that's just really upgradable. So yeah, you could just go either way. I wouldn't get a pre-built though. I mean, not a
Since
pre-built.
you and
I
I are
personally
tech
wouldn't get a
guys, we
pre-built.
should do reviews. We should do reviews of PCs.
Yo, that would be
Because
great. That'd be great.
I find a lot of people don't know that you don't need like the best of gear to run a decent game. Like I have stuff, like I said, that's starting to become obsolete, but every game that comes out, I'm able to run at high graphics.
Yeah.
Plus, there's optimizers you can use, like the Razer Cortex system, that will shut off stuff in Windows that hogs up your RAM for you to be able to go. Like I have a 1660 Super, and I believe 8 GB of RAM or megabytes of RAM. I think it's megabytes.
Not to
I
mention,
forget because I've been messing with computers since I was a kid, and most of the time I would switch out RAM is back in the early 2000s. So I could always get my size different.
not to mention, a lot of
I rush.
people don't do this, but debloating your PC is actually very easy. I don't know why people don't do it more. Get rid of all those
Well,
goofy
that's
little.
why I factory. That's why I just factory reset and tell it to keep my files.
Yeah. Or you can just
Because
get a separate drive and do it that way. I don't really trust them
well,
keeping my files because every now and then.
I have two drives. I have one solid state and one hard.
Okay.
I'm going to upgrade both my hard drive and my solid state drive. I'm going to do 2 solid state drives, and I'm going to get instead of 1 terabyte that I have, I'm going to get a 4 terabyte and then an 8 terabyte. I rushed down to my friend's place, and the score was 3-2 with the last 2 left, last 2 seconds of the third period. The Jets scored a goal. My friend is crying. Did he win? Lose?
Yeah, but like, who's he betting for or against? Now I'm kind of wondering.
Stanley never joined the panel. No, he did not. Nah, Calvin. It was not that stimulus check, but it did help. It was like the last $300 I needed to get it.
That's the goofy thing, though. I still have my stimulus money. I haven't spent it on anything yet. It's in my savings.
So, yeah, that's isn't that Dawn of the Dead? Where they're in the movie? I like the movie in the mall where they're picking off zombies that look like famous people, like Burt Reynolds, I think.
Yeah. Did they ever make a sequel to Dawn of the Dead?
I'm not sure.
Sorry,
the pre-built came with a 580.
I mean, most pre-builts are pretty easily upgradable, so I wouldn't really worry about. I wouldn't really worry about getting your own custom
zombie movies in general. I mean, I do believe that there is some social engineering, and there is proof that Hollywood has been social engineering us since the end of World War II with the propaganda films. But I don't think that everything that comes out is social engineering, because scientifically speaking, there is no way for something like zombies to happen. Like right now, with what we know, I mean, I could be wrong, but
I mean,
maybe social engineering in the sense is that people are retarded and they are pseudo zombies. Maybe at Slick Rick Stanley knows they won't put up with. Yeah, pretty much. I'm not gonna put up. I love Stanley to death, but I wouldn't put up with his talking or deflecting. It's kind of why I wouldn't stroke Imperius's ego.
So basically, custom PC with a 570 Ti, same price as a pre-built 580. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, even if you did want to upgrade, even if you did want to upgrade the overall, like any of the components, getting a pre-built is fine. I'm saying that if you want to put the extra money into having a professional, make sure everything's up and running. It also depends on whether you want fan cooling or water cooling, because I don't know how good pre-built not fan coolers, pre-built water coolers are, because I heard water cooling is kind of going out of style nowadays due to.
Well, there's been a lot of incidences.
Yeah, there's been a lot of incidences. Apparently, the overall quality of tubes has gone down. So whenever you buy one and you put the cooling through it, in like 2 to 5 days, it starts cracking. You start seeing visible damage, and then it starts leaking. And pre-built's kind of.
I prefer my fans. I live in a house in the rural South, in Middle Georgia, close to Alabama, right?
Yeah.
It's 110 on average. You touch my computer. If I touch the tempered glass on my computer, it's cool to the touch. Only problem that my fan is the only problem with my computer is the dust, so I have to get it out every couple of months and clean it. And it's actually getting to be about that time. And sometimes, like the last time I cleaned it, there's somehow a spider got in there and started making a massive web. Which honestly, I wish I could have left in there. Like it wouldn't have messed it up because it kind of looked cool with the LED lights bouncing off of it.
Oh,
But once I noticed it kind of made a big ass web and it was getting dusty, I was like, yeah, time for me to clean it. Time for me to wash it, buddy. So, I don't typically like a lot of gore.
yeah,
I watch horror, but I don't like a lot of gore.
Yeah, I'm not in the gore. Stuff makes me. I don't know.
Now, I've seen some accidents in real life, and it makes me queasy. It sends me back to those moments.
I know my girlfriend.
Like the Saw movies, I used to love
fucking
watching the
gore.
Saw movies.
She used to be.
Why you?
Oh, I was going to say she watched this one. I forgot the name of it, but she watched this one Moore movie. I think it was based off World War One, and there was this one scene. I can't remember the name of the movie because this was like 5-6 years ago. But she saw this one movie, and there was this one scene where one of the guys got his leg blown off by a landmine. No, it was World War II. It was World War II. Actually, no, I think it was Saving Private Ryan. Now that I think about it, it was the first scene where they were storming the beach. And there was this one part where one of the guys got his legs blown off, and she was like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" And I was like, what the, why do you can stomach?
Why do you think human suffering is amazing?
Yeah, I was curious.
What is wrong with
you can stomach this shit? You can stomach this? There's people getting their limbs blown off. And you're like, why? And she's looking all wide-eyed and shit. It's the first time she saw the movie too.
I think that comes with what I was saying earlier. With modern humans are so removed from violence that it's something that captivates them.
Yeah, it's like that's why I never got the idea of like slum tourism. I was like, why the heck you want to go to a slum? The people who live there don't want to be there. Why do you want to go there and just start putting your camera and everything? COVID, man. Floyd zombies. Zombies.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I think the zombie phenomenon was more of. I do agree with you. I think it was more of a social cannibalism type phenomenon where people were not really scared of being torn limb from limb and eaten, but more so torn limb for limb for like minor problems they had with society. Was always my thought about zombies. That was where that come from. That stem. I didn't get stimulus money.
What? How? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know where you live. I don't know where you live, Troll, but I'm pretty sure everybody and their mama got stimulus money because I remember when I was working, we got so much extra business because everybody was buying furniture.
I'm still seeing people drive down the road and I mean, I'm gonna be real, Slick Rick. I know you try to take your shots, and I try not to talk shit, but I'm gonna be 100% real on this one. There is no issue with wearing a mask because I don't like being sick in general, and you never know what somebody has. Now the mask enforcement and the mask mandates were retarded.
Yeah, that's true.
And the whole like whenever I see somebody wearing a mask, yeah, I assume that they're a liberal cuck. But whenever I wear a mask, which is very rarely, but I go to somewhere where there's going to be elderly people or a hospital where there could be some serious funk in the air, I don't want that miasma coming crawling down my throat. Yeah, metaphorical zombies.
Tesla
phone zombies.
Tesla hates zombies are the newest. Oh.
I also think that part of the reason for the zombie phenomenon was the fear of change and evolution. Like the people who change are afraid that the people who don't will like metaphorically decompose and devour them. And then like the people that are like due to change are constantly having to fight this necrotic part of society that doesn't want to change or grow. But maybe it ain't that deep. That is weird too. That's something that weirded me out. Like I didn't know. I don't understand why liberals now hate Tesla or Elon.
I mean, I never really
Maybe
liked.
just out
I
there.
never really liked Tesla due to the fact that I've seen videos of people getting locked out of their cars because they forget their password. Watch videos of hundreds of blacks swarm trains like they're locals to get free products. Honestly, I don't consider that zombie behavior due to the simple fact that they're swarming it not to get humans, but it's to get like hair gel or whatever.
Well, the metaphorical zombie I can understand, but that the thing is, the real
Yeah, the
comparison
real
is
zombie.
locusts.
I think the closest thing we
Well, no,
got to real zombies is like the cordyceps virus. I mean, not virus, the fungus. That's the closest thing
yeah,
we got.
because these are mindless creatures that are either being led by a virus or being led by pure instinct. These people who are storming trains are just untrained or ill mannered, untrained people that don't have to deal with consequences. I think you did a better comparison when you said locusts. Look at the Chinese; they're like locusts; they eat anything in sight.
Speaking of
I
Chinese,
mean,
have you seen them have you seen those weird fake virus videos of people in China pretending to be sick and then a whole bunch of people just pass them by and then one person tries to do any sort of help and they all kind of just start swarming and beating the shit out of the guy because they think they're all going to get arrested.
no.
I've seen a lot of like leaked Chinese footage. It's kind of insane over there. The weird
Well, I
things
mean,
they
yeah,
do for
they were
yeah,
literally euthanizing people in the streets with
the
COVID.
weird shit they do for protests is insane.
Well, the way authoritarian regimes work, right, is they don't work. Their legal systems don't work like ours, right? Ours are based on intent and what you meant to do, so they're really generalistic, right?
Uh-huh.
They are wide sweeping and generalistic. Authoritarian regimes are typically no specific behaviors are criminalized, which you would think would be opposite. A free society is very strict. Specific things are illegal, but no. In authoritarian regimes like China, it's very strict and specific things that you can and can't do. So the protesters like, well, we're not breaking the law. We're not touching you, neener, neener, neener type shit. Is all that is. And
Yeah.
like they have, and that's how they have to protest, though. To be fair.
Uh-huh.
Vast formation psychosis. Yeah, she might have a point
Yeah,
as
that
far
is
as the
true.
zombie talk goes. Drive a vehicle in a mask. I mean, I'm lazy, so if I'm gonna wear a mask, I might put it on as I'm getting ready because it might be comfortable for me. There's any number of reasons somebody could be driving with a
Not to
mask
mention,
on.
what if you're like a cab or Uber driver and you have like you got a bunch of nasty ass people. You know how people nasty are. A lot of people who take Ubers, they be having their hands all dirty or they're drunk. And they be like, hey man, take me around here, and they start sneezing and coughing and shit. And they be like, oh, it's just my allergies. I was like, I'm putting a mask. If I was in that situation, I'd definitely put a mask on or something.
Yeah, and you never know. You never know.
And
You
plus, what if
never
you
know.
got? Plus,
Just
what if you got? A lot of people nowadays, since it's spring nowadays, a lot of people are going around with allergies. I know I have because
mm,
pollen. Because I live in the forest, and there's pollinated trees everywhere. So I've been sneezing a lot. So,
well, my thing is like the zombie apocalypse would be beaten with COVID masks if you just wore them.
honestly, I think it depends on how it spreads. Like, is it airborne? Is it waterborne? Is it like something that you have to
That's
touch to get?
that's why I actually like the Walking Dead zombie apocalypse the most. Everybody automatically had it, and just dying is what activated it. That was such an interesting concept to me when I was younger, and then like they just screwed up The Walking Dead so much.
Uh huh.
So,
Good luck with that nonsense. Shake my fucking head. Well, if I
bro,
had to,
why do you have to be so tribal,
yeah.
bro?
Why did? Honestly, I don't get the hate with Matt because this. I like how this thing blew over to. Oh, we don't want to be forced to do something that barely has any point of working in the first place. To I just hate mask. Like you hate mask now. Honestly, I think that's
But
how it evolved. It's kind of stupid.
it's tribal. It's retarded tribalism. Like tribalism is fucking retarded. Like I hate saying that as a white nationalist because it kind of goes in the whole face of my belief and ideology, right? But this comment from Slick Rick is exactly what you get from tribalism. This is tribalism at its most extreme.
Look at his
And
next
no
comment.
offense to you, Rick, it's
Look
dumb.
look at his next one. Look at his next comment.
Fuck
Man.
mask.
See, look now.
Drug
See,
brain.
we went from anti-authoritarianism to just anti-mask. We hate the concept of mask now. You can't put anything over your face. If you got a bandana on, you're trying to protect yourself. Whatever.
Common sense. And Slick Rick is one of the people that'll talk about common sense. And I'm not talking shit on you, Rick. I like you. You're a cool dude. But you're one of the people that will always talk about common sense being dead. And you're part of the problem. No offense to you, but when people like you and Be Brave talk the way you do about things like masks, it shows that you're not intelligent. And I'm not trying to talk shit. I like you. You're cool. You might be wise in other ways, but you don't have the ability for cognitive thinking. I don't know. I hope I'm wording it right. I just don't get it. There's plenty of good reasons to wear a mask.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, that's it. I think. Hold on. Wait. I think it's the anti-Doge propaganda that worked them up. Oh, the Tesla protests and Elon. Yeah, I mean,
hold on.
I would agree. I think
I gotta go grab something.
I think personally, I think this and this plays into it while I'm kind of shitting on Rick is it's tribalism in its most extreme form. Whenever you get stupid people and ignorant people who believe in something, they do the most to fulfill that belief. And since they're not able to think about it and talk to people about it in constructive ways because they're not intelligent, it winds up being the most dumbest shit you've ever had to deal with in your life. And that's why you get somebody like me who understands tribalism, understands race, and I'm just like, you know what? I think tribalism is retarded, even though it's necessary. My only allergy is right now my eyes itch like crazy because of some pollen in the air. I keep buying antihistamine eye drops. LOL. Do not buy antihistamines and antibiotics and stuff like that because if you buy too much of them, you fuck yourself up in the long run. Return of the Living Dead Part 2 is a classic. Ryan T, is that the movie where the zombies literally like get on the horn and is like send more cops? Because like as a kid I found that like very horrifying, to be honest. Like that fucked with me as a kid for a while. Okay, yeah, no, this I could see somebody saying something about. Most people don't understand the science behind mask wearing. A dude riding a motorcycle with a mask on as an example. I saw that. Hello. That I get. Okay, that I get. That's retarded. But at the same time, though, people on motorcycles wear bandanas. So maybe he wanted to keep dirt and shit out of his mouth and out of his nose. Maybe that might be the case.
All right, I'm back. What's up? Are we still talking about mask?
No. So I was talking about allergies. I mentioned antihistamines. How you don't want to get antihistamines and antibiotics a lot because you'll fuck yourself over in the long run. Ryan T mentioned Night of the Living Dead. I asked him, was that the movie where the zombie grabbed the walkie-talkie thing? It was like, send more cops. Oh yeah, no, dude, that shit scared the fuck out of me as a kid, bro.
What,
like zombies
talking.
Well, it's not that they talk, right? As a kid, I was kind of an intelligent kid. I feel like I was smarter as a child than I am today because in my child brain, I associated that with ambush predators, which is exactly what that would be, and that was like the most horrifying thought ever. My irrational fear, by the way, the one thing that I am phobic of is I'm zombie-phobic. Like I am horrified that one day zombies will be real, and I don't know why it scares me. I think it's the thought that just taking a shit, you constantly would be hunted. You wouldn't even be able to just relax and take a shit, much less relax and fuck or relax and eat. Just you would constantly be hunted by just a something that does not need to breathe, does not need to do anything but consume your flesh. And then Ryan T was saying, yeah, that's the movie.
Micron size of a virus versus the micron size of the virus versus the micro size of the virus pass through basically anything at a violent point. If people are concerned, they should wear a proper mask that actually filters them out. Yeah, that is true. A lot of people kind of just put their shirt over their nose and thinking they're safe. And then you got someone like me at the height of COVID. I not gonna lie, I was kind of scared as crap because I heard a bunch of stuff like, "Oh, people are falling dead." So I was like, "I'm gonna have to basically get my own oxygen supply at this point."
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like even me, at first I was like, it doesn't matter, and then I worked at a nursing home, and older people were dropping dead, and then more and more younger people were calling out of work and being out of work. So the whole environment was tense, and I do agree with this, Ryan T. If it was not for mask mandates, everyone would think masks would be appropriate or a reasonable response made wrong by use of force. But that's the problem. That's the problem. Whole knit and caboodle with the problem with blacks in America, whites in America, Hispanics in America, and we all have the mentality of can't tell me what the fuck to do, even when it's for your own betterment. And that
Well, I
type of
got sick of Raging
mentality
Juice
is
Butterpop.
is not good in the long term. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was reading his comment. So I got sick of waiting and just went to go buy an iPad. Okay. Good old impulse of spending. Let's go. Hopefully it comes in quick. I can see what excuse me. I can see what it's like to have a decent PC again. Okay. Let's see. I hope you I don't know how much you paid for it, but I hope you get your money's worth, man. Hope you get your money's worth, troll.
I'm going to copy a new link to the Discord. If you guys want to join the Discord, everyone starts out not being able to see anything. I have to vet you, but if you join during the stream, that's an automatic vetting. I'll just give you the user role, so then you can just start typing and talking to people. If you join after the stream, I have to actually take the time to talk to you and vet you to make sure you're a viewer of someone's channel who's a career content creator in the Discord. You're not there just to start problems and mess with people. So, because like I've learned a lot from Rizla and Flo. Right, we don't have to talk. We don't have to suffer these people just because we believe in free speech and want to talk to people. You know. So my old dog was paranoid as hell about taking the shit outside. He only do it if he could back up against the bush and see all the angles in front of him. My dog's just paranoid about shitting outside. He likes to go. He's a puppy. He likes to go play outside, but he won't poop outside, huh? Had to get a rolled up newspaper to get him to go outside. Like, hey, go. But we haven't had many accidents unless the door was closed or it was storming. He's been doing good. Potty training him. He's only 3 months old, and it takes about 3 or 4 months to get a dog housebroken. And he's a good boy. I do have more pictures of Tucker. He's getting big as fuck. He's being big as fuck compared to this little shitty right here.
Oh, dang.
This little fight. He is no longer this tiny again. He is no longer that tiny. He would fucking block out the entire circle at this point. So. As long as I can watch beauty videos in the store, those stream will be money well spent. Well, shit, I appreciate it.
For porn, sure.
I don't think he was saying that at all. I have to update my Discord, so keep the stream going for 40 more, please. All right, bet. Now I'll keep it going for probably another 8 minutes, 10 minutes. Doesn't matter. But no, I think that there we go. They're already in there, and you're now a user. And if you are a member, if you are in the Discord, feel free to at everybody or at people, get to know people, get to mingle. I don't think any of the content creators would care. And then my personal friends that are in there won't care. So just feel free to mingle, start up a conversation. I mean, it's not dead, but it's not as active as I would like it to be. Right now, it's just us content creators putting links to our videos in
Yeah.
there. But I'm trying to get it more active, and the more people that join, the more active it'll be. So, oh, invite is invalid. Hold on. Well,
Did you make it so that only mods can send invites? Like mods and admins, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's another one. I do go through because I just create. And so whenever somebody asks me for an invite, I just create another one and send it. So I do quite frequently go in and just shut down and end and like disconnect